Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leather Craft Supply, and this is the Leather Element. Send us a question, and once a week, we will do our best to get a good, solid answer back to you. This week, great question coming in from Dan, and it's one of my favorite techniques. How do I harden leather? You won't believe how easy this is, all right? But right off the bat, we're only going to talk about natural veg tan leather because veg tan with heavy wax or tallow, not going to work. Chrome tans, not at all. But a natural veg tan is going to harden so easy you won't believe it. And we're going to have no issues with our dye, paint, or top coat, okay? Historically, we are in an old school craft here. We've been hardening leather for millennia. Armor, first thought. But let's don't stay right there because holster right off the top, that's going to protect that gun for lifetimes. I have no idea how long that will work. In fact, that's 7 or 8 years old now. Looks like I made it yesterday. That's the point. All right. Secondly, though, bowls, bags, masks. Say you've got a duffel in your rounds, you want some good body to the rounds. Or a laptop bag, you want a solid divider or a solid backing on that. Incredibly easy to do. All right. Historically, kerbouli. This means boiled leather, French translation. Funny thing here, we've got multiple documented recipes, 7, 8, 900 years old. They agree on not a single thing except don't boil the leather. Right? Typical history. But first off, boiled leather. Now, there's a technique out there I've heard a number of people say they use. Don't do this. This is dipping your panel or your leather in boiling wax. Extremely dangerous. You're our customer. We love you. We don't want anything bad to happen to you. But this is fraught with problems. First off, that panel, whatever it touches, it's going to wick oil. It's, say, a car seat. That will wick oil into that car seat in 2 minutes and will absolutely ruin it. Oil will never come out. Secondly, though, that project or you will always smell like a candle. And third problem, who knows what color is going to come out? Am I going to be able to paint that or add a top coat or an antique? Probably not. Okay, so boiling, not the great way to go. My favorite, baking. Now I say baking, but we're really more curing the leather because we're going to use a low temp and a low time in your home oven. Now, it's going to make your house smell like leather. Not always a bad thing, but 200 degrees for 20 minutes, that panel is going to be hard as a board. Now, when it comes out of the oven, I say curing more than baking. When that comes out of the oven, it's still going to be moist. Give that about 24 hours. But once you do, again, no issue. With dye, stain, antique, top coat, not a problem. Everything is going to apply just like it did before you baked it. Now, a leather firmer. That's our third way to go. We sell a leather firmer. This is great. Now, you simply dip your leather in this, let it dry. Here's the trick. Let that dry for 24 hours. I mean, don't even touch it. But if you do, it's going to harden the leather nicely. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about armor only because we're going to step over here, take a look at the suit because it's a very big, very visible example of what we're talking about, both with the baking and the dyeing. So let's step over here and take a look at that. Now, this, just like every other project, all I'm looking for is ease and outcome. Simple as that, okay? Ease. We're baking this. Now, I skipped over a point here. Sorry. Let's back up just a little bit. If I'm going to bake a panel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that panel, I'm going to soak it in water, straight water, for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. Let that water get good and wicked in. Now I'm going to pull it out. It's going to be a little too pliable to work with at this point, so maybe give it 15, 20 minutes of just sitting. Now, we can take this, say with this tassel. All I need is a nice bowed shape. So in fact on this, I think I simply just sat that on a 1x2 piece of board and let it sit maybe an hour. Let some more of that water evaporate out. Then we can go to baking, okay? So ease. On the ease side, no problem. Outcome. Here's the biggest point. Notice my dye. Notice how consistent this is. This is simply a Pro Dye, 5-inch Pro Dye, dip dyed. I dropped in an acrylic paint into my tooling, into my background, and then I covered that with a saddle lac. Outcome. Ease and outcome. Very simple. Now, would you consider taking a mallet to a project that you've spent more than 100 hours working on? No, that's nuts. But in this case, I can hit that as hard as I want. In fact, you know what? I'm a little bit more worried about my mallet handle than I am the armor. Now, the camera won't pick that up. There's not a single ding in that armor. This is going to last for years. So, I hope this is great information for you. Thanks for taking time to watch The Leather Element. Good luck with your projects.